supposed to be having fun. Woohoo, right? Of course. All right. You know that if I don't turn my phone off, somebody will call to ask, where's the ceremony again? That's what will happen invariably. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today at our joint PTK ceremony for both the Beta Nu Rho and the Beta Phi Eta chapter. So everybody, please give a big howdy do to the folks on Zoom. Hi, folks on Zoom. We have folks on Zoom joining us for both the Beta Nu Rho chapter and also the Beta Phi Eta chapter. The Beta Phi Eta chapter joining us from the Fort Leavenworth campus. And then, of course, we do have some folks who are joining us from the Beta Nu Rho chapter, like Shayna Pickens, who's all the way in Texarkana, Arkansas. So hi, Shayna. Can you give us a big hello? You have to unmute yourself, Shayna. We're calling you out.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hi, Shayna. And of course, we have Bethany Klein. She's joining us from Junction City, Kansas. She has 4 kiddos, so she is a very busy lady. And I'll introduce you a little bit more to her later. But before we start, I just want to welcome some of our Barton VIPs to just take a moment to say hello to all of these lovely people. So we have the VP of Learning, the Vice President of Learning and Instruction, Ms. Elaine Simmons. We have the Dean of Workforce Training and Community Education, Dr. Kathy Kotis. We have the Dean of Military Academics, Technical Education and Outreach Programs. I know that's a real mouthful. Dean Curtis Teal. We have the Director of Fort Leavenworth Academic Programs and the PTK Advisor of Beta Phi Eta, Director Erica Jenkins Moss. I really want to hear that cheer go up in Fort Leavenworth. Come on, Fort Leavenworth. Give her a big round of applause. We also have some other wonderful Fort Riley people here today. We have the advisor coordinator, Megan Chambers. Give Megan a big round of applause if you've never met Megan before. And I want to, before we go any further, I want to give a huge thank you to some very wonderful people that this could not have happened without. I want to give a big thank you to the IT department, which is headed by Renee Demmel. I also want to thank John Dannenbaum and Christina Wells. Thank you so much, who have really come to my rescue. They have been absolutely wonderful. I want to thank the Communications and PR department, Maggie Harris, and also Courtney Liebel and Aaron Weber. Thank you guys so much. I also want to thank Carly Page at Fort Leavenworth. Thank you, Carly, so much for helping us coordinate all this. And also a huge thank you to Rebecca Carter. Rebecca has really been my saving grace with all this and has helped keep me sane through all that. Well, sanity is on a continuum, so as sane as I can be. So thank you, Rebecca, so much. And she brought me egg rolls today. Anybody who brings you egg rolls, that's got to be a plus in my book, right? So without further ado, I would like to bring up VP Simmons to share with you some words of wisdom. Pay attention. This lady has a lot of words of wisdom. Trust me. So without further ado, here is VP Elaine Simmons.
Good afternoon. I think maybe we should reemphasize that I have a lot of words. This afternoon, I welcome our students, their family members, and our guests, and I offer to you a few words. We are here this afternoon to celebrate student achievement, but the celebration is not limited to just academic excellence. It is also associated with leadership skills and service contributions. The students that we are recognizing today are students of caliber with an intrinsic motivation. I would guess that you wake up most days with this voice in your head or this feeling in your gut that says, I've got more to do than I have time. However, I'm convinced I will own that time and I will get that to-do list done. Students, persons of excellence are sometimes thought as individuals that have all the luck. It always goes their way. They never falter. And while that might be true sometimes, I know as a former PTK student that hard times, troubling times, and what the heck am I doing times are ever present in our life. The difference is the grit that will not let us back down. We will excel, we will contribute, and we will make a difference one day at a time. I think that probably I might be the oldest PTK alum in the room. I just had a birthday yesterday, and I think that might make me the oldest. And so as that voice, I'm going to offer you what I refer to as some nuggets. And we're going to talk a little bit about these. And maybe, just maybe, there will be one of these nuggets that'll resonate with you, something that may give you pause. I'm a very big proponent of pause and reflect. I didn't used to be. I never ever used to give it a thought. But as I aged, I began to understand the importance of a pause every once in a while and a reflection every once in a while, if nothing else, to rebalance or to set that course forward once again. My first nugget to you is that I encourage you to maintain a learning attitude regardless of your age. And there's so many ways to learn, folks. Obviously, formal education is one way. You're participating in that right now. But that's not the only way we learn. We learn from reading. We learn from participating. We learn from watching. And we learn from listening. And I think it's important, regardless of our age, that we maintain an attitude that it is important, that it is good, that it is the right thing to do to keep learning. The second thing I have said many times in various ways to many of the folks I've worked with over the years, I'm the Vice President of Instruction and I've been with Barton Community College for 38 years. I started shortly after I graduated from Barton, after completing my bachelor's degree, and I've been there ever since. And one of the things that I say in a multitude of ways is hard work is the cure for almost everything. When life is hurling, my advice to you is work hard. Don't seek out the easy. I understand that that's where we want to go. We want that comfort. We want that balance of the easy. But I tell you, in my years of life experience and my years of professional experience, just work hard. Do the right thing, and know that more times than not, that's not the easiest thing, but it is the thing you should do. Working hard seems to cure a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily cure it permanently, but those distractions that come into your life, those things that are in your head, those nervous feelings that you have, sometimes you just got, I tell lots of times, I tell my colleagues, just put your head down and work. Just put your head down and work, and it'll all come out on the other side. Participate in life. Don't sit on the sidelines. You get to fill in what that participation is, but don't sit on the sidelines. Get involved. Do what you're passionate about, do what you're interested in, do what you believe is right, but don't sit by idly and let life happen to you. Participate in life. Please don't worry about meeting folks in the middle. I hear that all the time. I got to meet people in the middle, got to meet them in the middle. I grew up in a home with two parents that talked about this all the time from a personal point of view. And they always talked to me about leaning over. Very few relationships are 50-50. They're 75-25, they're 80-10, they're 90-10. It all changes as the moments change, as the situation changes. But don't be afraid to lean over and give a little bit more. It doesn't make you less. It truly doesn't make you less. And many times it helps you solve a challenge, provide a greater contribution. Don't be afraid of leaning in. This one is hard, and it takes some time and it takes some practice, but I encourage you to try to see things from a holistic view. It's much easier for us to see things this way. Things we're familiar with, things we grew up with, things we've been exposed to, things we've experienced. But when you step back and you try to look at things from a holistic view, I promise you, your perspective will change. You will see things you hadn't considered before. You will do things. You will make decisions differently. Looking holistically at whatever's before you, I have found at least, to be a very important ingredient in my life. See your next opportunity. What in the world does that mean? Opportunities can drop out of the sky. Sometimes not, though. But being able to see down the road, that visionary quality of leadership, of achievers, of people of excellence, the ability to see 5 miles down the road, 10 miles down the road, seeing what that next opportunity, what that next milestone, whatever that may be. You're not going to get it perfect, but don't be afraid to look down the road and visualize. I didn't used to believe this either, but I do now. There have been times in my work life even where I have visualized something so much, it happened. Now, I don't say that I have some kind of magic power, but when you start visualizing and planning, it helps you to make different kinds of decisions. It helps you to be in the right place at the right time. It helps you to do a lot of things when you think big and look long. Embrace the importance of character. What does that mean? What is character these days? Here are the things I think about when I think about character. Creativity, curiosity, perseverance, integrity, energy, kindness, teamwork, humility, self-management, grace, and gratitude. Those are things that I think about a lot. When I think about energy, I read something, I think it's something you see on social media, I'm not sure, but it talks about the significance of you choosing to be the energy in the room. When you walk in a room, what happens to the energy? Does it fall? Does it rise? Does it stay the same? Do you bring energy to conversations? Do you bring energy to gatherings? Do you bring energy to ideas? Do you bring energy to problems? I promise you, energy is more important than most of us give it credit. And it's hard to maintain energy. You get tired. You hit your head against the wall. You don't know if you're ever going to get where you ought to go, but I'm telling you, energy, curiosity. Be curious, folks. You have to already be that, or you wouldn't be in this room. But don't lose that. Be curious about life. Be curious about what you're doing. Ask questions. It is okay to engage in discussions. It is okay to engage in conversations. Ask questions. Do you know sometimes, and I've got two in the room, sometimes when I lead Dean's Council and I have my deans and we're trying to talk about something and I'm not getting a lot, sometimes I purposely say stupid things. Now, sometimes I just say stupid things, but sometimes I actually purposely say stupid things because all of a sudden they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, let's go now. Let's go. Because they all have so much to contribute. Be curious. Ask questions. Self-management. You've reached a point in your life, you got to get up on your own. You got to go to school on your own. You got to go to work on your own. You got to know when there's chores to do with school or work or home. You have to manage yourself. You have to discipline yourself how to get through this life. And in whatever you choose to do with this life, you are in charge of you. And you have to manage yourself to move through your life. Soak up moments. When I speak, and I haven't done it for a while, but I used to often I would present thoughts at our learning celebrations for our incarcerated population. And I would stand in a room and look out at the men at the correctional facility that had achieved certificates or degrees or whatever we were celebrating. And I always strongly said this, and I'm bringing it to you as well because it's just as important. It's important to everybody. You have to soak up the moment you're given. This is your moment. You are being recognized today. Hold on to that for a little bit and store it. Because when life is hurling and you're feeling a little beat up or you don't know what you're going to do next, sometimes you got to go back to that reflection thing I talked about, and you got to think about moments like this. When it all came together, when others were celebrating you and recognizing you. It's okay to dip back into those moments and those memories to help you push through whatever it is you're facing right now. And please don't forget your fan club. Y'all got a fan club. Some are bigger, some are littler, doesn't matter what size they are. There's somebody in your life, a loved one, a friend, a colleague, a community member. There's somebody in your fan club. Remember them. Thank them. Talk with them. Those fan clubs are so important in our life. The last nugget I'm going to give you is not my own. It's a nugget that my daddy told me for years until I lost him not quite 4 years ago. And when I was much younger, I used to get so annoyed. Because one of the last things he'd always say to me as I was going back home or going off to college or whatever, he'd always say, Elaine, remember to stop and smell the roses. I understand that now. And it's hard to do when you're exceptional. It's hard to do when you're a person of excellence. It's hard to do when you got a to-do list that doesn't stop. It's hard to do when you think you're the only person that can do whatever needs to be done. I understand all those things. But there is significance to stopping and smelling those roses or looking at that picture or having a moment of reflection or saying something nice to someone else. Stop and smell those roses, folks, while you're doing all the things you've already done and no doubt will continue to do. I wish you my congratulations. I extend to you my pride. And I wish you the best in your life journey. Thank you.
Thank you, VP Simmons. See, I told you, lots of words of wisdom. Thank you so much. I want to give you a little bit of history about PTK. And, you know, when you get me up here as a historian, that you could really be in for it, right, Dean Teal? He just smiles, right. I promise I'll keep it short. I won't do my usual full-on lecture. Oh, he's taking off his glasses. He's settling in for it now. PTK was started in 1918. I promise I'm not going to do year by year. Okay. It was started just down the road with 6 different women's colleges in Missouri. And since then, I'm going to just go ahead and speed up to when we started our own chapter here at Fort Riley. Okay. We started our own chapter here at Fort Riley in 2006 with a student named Joseph LaRue III. I always have to mention Joe, always. Joe got a hold of me. He was a student of Barton, and he said, you know, they have a chapter of PTK on the Great Bend campus. Why don't we have one for Barton? And I said, I don't know. Why don't we go ahead and start one up? So in spring 2006, we started up a second chapter of PTK. that was headquartered here at Fort Riley, but was for Barton Line, Fort Riley, and Grandview Plaza. Then as we added another campus at Fort Leavenworth, we started a third chapter of Beta Phi Eta, and we became the only college in Kansas with 3 PTK chapters in fall of 2014. So since 2006, as of yesterday, I checked the numbers, the Beta Nu Rho chapter has exactly 488 members inducted since spring 2006. Not too shabby. And since fall of 2014, the Beta Phi Eta chapter has inducted 145 members. Also not too shabby. And don't forget, like I said before, we are the only college in the state of Kansas with 3, count them, 3 chapters. So Barton, we're not doing too shabby, I don't think. So not too bad. So without further ado, I would like to hand over the reins to our advisor for Beta Phi Eta, Ms. Erica Jenkins-Moss at Fort Leavenworth.
Hello, everyone. So we're going to get started. Our first thing that we're going to do is I'd like to introduce one of our members for Beta Phi Eta, and that's going to be Tiana Codwell. And so she's going to give us a speech. So come on up, Tiana.
My hair may be a little tall. Thank you. Hello and welcome, honorary guests, fellow Cougars and classmates. My perception of Barton is similar to a 3-year-old resisting to take a nap. So I work at a daycare, and every day it's a new negotiation and a new incentive. And sometimes it is something tangible like a stuffed animal, or an act of service like patting them on their back, or just an affirmation letting them know the day is almost done and mommy's on her way. Like the examples I just previously gave, all incentives are not monitored. Today, I will be discussing the incentives that Barton Community College has offered me. Now, this is an educational institution, so it's a no-brainer that I may learn a thing or two. Most of my knowledge stems from my professors teaching me how to critically think instead of regurgitating information from a textbook. Entrepreneur and author Jim Rohn once said, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills." Too often, people give up on themselves, and I almost did the same thing. It took me almost 10 years to go back to school. I come from a background where a high school diploma is enough. I used to say things like, I hate school and I hate learning, but I studied a different language. I taught myself how to crochet, leather make, and how to play the keyboard. When I want to learn something, I can be relentless. I love learning. I just get a little nervous during test taking time. My downtime consists of learning new things from tutorials, and Barton offers me a 6-week tutorial every cycle. So exciting. The second incentive I would like to discuss is character. There's an adage, it takes nothing to be a good person, and I disagree. Good people are tested all the time, in my opinion. Doctor and daughter psychology classes have helped my self-awareness and made me acknowledge my own biases. To be a good person requires me remaining impartial. It requires using my authority to do the right thing. it requires restraint, and it requires grace. But most importantly, it requires integrity. I am proud to announce that the experience at Barton has led me to becoming an integrity ambassador. There are 6 pillars of integrity, and I am the ambassador for respect. There's a common saying, respect is earned. And I never understood the saying. I'm not an overthinker, but I am a deep thinker. And I believe trust is earned, responsibilities are earned, credentials are earned, but respect is deserved. The last incentive I would like to talk about is courage. There have been times I've been hesitant to walk into certain rooms because of imposter syndrome. Although I am inquisitive, I do sometimes refrain to ask questions when it appears I'm the only one that does not understand something. I am not easily persuaded, but fellow friend and PTK alumni, Sharice Jefferson, convinced me to join the PTK community, and I'm so grateful for the chain of events that have occurred since. PTK has enhanced my educational journey by offering more tutorials, less than 6 weeks long this time. These tutorials consist of time management, resume writing, and effective communication. Barton and PTK have been a huge benefactor to my academic, occupational, and personal life. I now have the courage to enter a conversation and a room with confidence. Just like my 3-year-olds resisting to take a nap, I resisted to further my education for almost 10 years. The knowledge, character, and courage Barton Community College has offered me are the best incentives I could ask for. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiana. Just to give you a little background information on her, when I asked her to do the speech, she jumped right in, and then she thought, "Oh, what am I going to write about?" But she did such a wonderful job, and her courage to come up here and do that, she did a wonderful job. So thank you, Tiana. So now I'll go ahead and I will proceed to announce some of our new members. Some, I will say this, some have been in PTK for a little bit. They joined during that COVID period, so they haven't had that chance to have an official induction. So they're going to be joining us in this one as well. So, but the first member that I'd like to call up is Charles. Charles is. So Charles, he's a new member. He joined just March. Okay.
All right.
Oh yeah. So he's here. He's a dual enrolled high school student. I remember when I met Charles, very polite, very great young man. I kept telling him, you know, you should be in PTK. You know, you should join PTK. So he finally listened to me and joined. But right today, he has his family here with him that's supporting him and cheers him on. His future goals, he's not completely set on something definite yet, but he will transfer to KU and he's going to study criminal justice. So I also want to put the fact that he is a gentleman that I've been trying to get some gentlemen to join, so maybe with him joining, I'll spread the word. And one more. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you.
I'm actually going to call Tiana back up here. So come back up, Tiana. So Tiana joined PTK late 2021. She volunteers. If I ask her to come. There you go. But I have something special for Tiana. Not only will she be able to sign the book now that she's initiated, but remember the tutorials she talked about that she loved? Well, it paid off for her, and Phi Theta Kappa, the Heartland region, recognized that, and so I have a couple of certificates and an award to give to her. So, Tiana completed, so Phi Theta Kappa has some programs for the students to do to help them with their leadership. to help them with their education, to further that, to help connect them to other colleges, helps them do career search, different things like that. So Tiana is awarded from the Heartland Region. You're recognized for completing the Phi Theta Kappa Research Edge program. You completed the Healthcare Edge program. And you completed the Implanted Edge program. And you were the first one here in a Phi Theta chapter to be awarded from the Heartland Region Phi Theta Kappa the award for being a competitive edge 5-star member. I know, right? Tiana did say that she works at a daycare. Tiana actually has 2 jobs while she's taking classes to further her education. As she mentioned, she likes to crochet, read, leather making, she plays the keyboard. She is going to go into the medical field, and she's going to finish her Associate of Science with us. But it's just a pleasure to have you. Congratulations, Tiana. Now we'll call Kay Dorsey. So we call her Kay, but her name is Kendra. So Kendra joined in 2021. Kendra also, she did walk last year for graduation, but she wasn't able to make it to her induction ceremony last year when we went to Fort Riley. So she's joining us today. When I asked her who's going to be cheering her on today, I loved what she said. She says everyone. So she's got so she does live here in Fort Leavenworth. When she's not studying or taking classes, she's spending time with family and friends. And she is planning on transferring to either KU or K-State to pursue her economics degree, and she does plan on being a lawyer. Let's make sure I put that in there. And then, because you walked last year and you did get this, I want to make sure that I drink that over you. But she's been wonderful. Let me tell you, in all the classes that she has, she tells everybody about Phi Theta Kappa, and she encourages everyone to join. Is she in the camera? Yep. Okay, so I'm not sure. But she is a mother, and so her children also have attended Barton, and they also have graduated. So congratulations, welcome. Thank you. Welcome. And now I'll go ahead and do our 2 graduating members. I'll go ahead and call up Dawn Gazelle. Come on up, Dawn. She just joined PTK. She just joined PTK this past April. Her family is with her today, cheering her on. She will graduate this June, as I mentioned earlier. Her future plans is to transfer to George Mason University to get her BS in psychology and eventually her master's in social work, and she's going to go in the social work field. So wonderful. Welcome to PTK. All right. And then I like to call up Abigail Gazelle. I don't know if you guys noticed the last name's Gazelle, right? So this is Abigail. She just also became a new member this past April. Her family is cheering her on today, and she will graduate this June. Her future plan is to be a lawyer. She plans to attend George Mason University to study pre-law. And I just want to let you know, this is a mother-daughter duo we've got going on here. So I don't know if you guys want to get a picture together. Get a picture together. Yes. Those are new members and previous members for Beta Phi Eta chapter. So I'll pass it back to you, Gina.
And Tiana, great job on your speech, by the way. I'm so proud of you. Sorry. I get to know these students really, really well. When you join PTK, what I always tell the students is, once a PTKer, always a PTKer. And I've been so lucky that I've been able to be the advisor here since 2006, and I still have people coming back to me since 2006. And it's pretty amazing when they get a hold of you and they tell you what's been going on in their life and what they've had going on, and where they're at now. And it's pretty powerful stuff when they tell you that, hey, by the way, this all started with, you know, that crazy lady that I met in that history class, or that, you know, serial killer class probably, that came up to me and said, hey, you should join this group that I'm a part of. Hey, did you hear about this scholarship that you should sign up for? And it goes from there. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce you to one of our members who has taken classes through Barton Online with our OSHA Hazmat program, Dean Hanel, who is going to provide you with some words of wisdom. Dean is a member of the Beta Nu Road chapter. Dean, will you provide us with some of your wonderful words of wisdom?
Mic check, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Hello, graduating class. I'm Dean Hanel from Fort something. I can't think of the name of the Fort. Oh, Fort Knox. Yeah, that's right. I've been attending Barton Online since the early 90s when I was with the Secretarians at 134 ARMA. I'm currently attending Barton Online for Associates in Applied Science and OSHA. Barton was a choice given to me as my first enlistment incentive that allowed college during the duty day, which is really unheard of. So literally for 3 months, I was go to PT, and then I'd just go to classes all day and learn military educational points and just knowledge in general for different things. The military moved me around since 2011. When I was during the military, during my time in the military for 23 years, I'd always, instead of party on the weekends, I'd go find a college class to attend. And by the way, when you change colleges, you got to give them transcripts. And I'd always have to give them a transcript from Barton. And I'd see that old catalog saying OSHA. But I just never had that push to go online because back in the early 90s, you know, computers and internet just wasn't really a thing. So after I retired in 2011 of 23 years, I felt I needed to change and needed to set myself a new set of goals. So I went back to Barton Online, seen their OSHA online, and I applied myself. So after re-enrolling myself OSHA or for Barton Online, I persevered, and after hours, I'd be doing online. I'd work a full day and still do Barton Online after hours, just for the drive of love of family. That, you know, make yourself better to provide for your family, because it's getting rougher and rougher out there to do that. Going forward with Barton, I've said I've devoted over 3 years towards my associates. Barton is believe it or not, is like a home to me, even if I'm miles away. They're like the ones that care. Their instructors care. You might not feel it, but they're there to answer their questions. There's some colleges that just want your money. They don't care if you show up on a Thursday, Friday, as long as you know they got your money. They don't care. Barton, they show an interest in you. Just saying, I cannot wait to be seated where you are in October. Enough said. Class, cool, and get out there and join that workforce, and remember to be kind. Great job all attending. That's all I have.
We have another member of the Beta Nu Road chapter, Bethany Klein, who is living in Junction City, Kansas, taking care of her 4 kids, who's joining us via Zoom today. Bethany, would you give us some of your words of wisdom?
Yes. The purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows by Sidney Harris. This quote sums up my experience with Barton. Before starting classes, I felt trapped in my life. I love my family with all my heart, and I know deep down that I needed to take time to work on myself. I had shied away from college in the past since I had struggled so badly in high school. I decided to sign up for my first class, General Psych, and I was hooked instantly. I realized that I can do the things that my internal voice kept telling me that I couldn't. I also took it upon myself to sign my husband up for classes as well, and he is now working towards his degree. I've realized that I've started recommending classes to anyone who will listen at this point, and that's when I was blessed enough to take a class with Mrs. Bulk. She told me about PTK and helped me sign up. Miss Bulk has turned into an amazing mentor to me, and she has pushed me to keep going and apply for scholarships. Since starting school, I have had amazing teachers who have helped give me the push that I needed to start my own business. If you told me a year ago that simply signing up for classes would open as many doors as it has, there would be no way I would believe it.
And there you go. That's one of the reasons she's Zooming with us today, this little guy. Isn't he adorable? Future Barton student. Future Barton student. He only is...
I mean, he's almost earned his associates at this point, being in all the classes with me, so.
Exactly. He only has, what, a couple more years to go? Yeah, just a few, right? And if you're wondering what that lovely piece of ribbon is around her neck, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a few minutes. You'll hear a little bit more about that. I would like to introduce you to a very special person named Helena Likens. As she makes her way down the walkway here, as we can see her adorable dress, I would like to say that Helena is, besides being a member of Beta Nu Rho, Helena is also the Beta Nu Rho chapter president. And she drove with her entire family, wave everybody from the Likens clan, from Wellsville, Kansas, up in the very northeastern corner. So she drove all this way just to come see us today. So please give the entire Likens clan a big round of applause for that. Oh my goodness. And she surprised the ever-loving dickens out of me. I walked in the room and I'm like, well, what's going on? I was so excited. So I was just so blown away that you're here. Yeah. So without further ado, please give your speech, Helena.
Thank you. Alrighty. First, I would like to express my gratitude to the beautiful Bulk for that wonderful introduction. I would also like to extend my thanks to the Phi Theta Kappa organization and all its students. And finally, I would like to thank my parents for their unwavering support throughout my life, including their encouragement for me to join Phi Theta Kappa. I want you to imagine yourself standing at the edge of a cliff overlooking a vast expanse of wilderness. The wind is going through your hair and your heart's pounding with excitement and fear. As you stare, begin to take a leap of faith and step out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. As you take the leap into the air, you begin to feel a rush of adrenaline and the sense of liberation that you've never felt before. This thrill of excitement mixed with fear is what it means to adopt the yes mentality. It's a mindset that allows you to step outside of your habitual behaviors and move beyond your security blanket in order to explore the higher ends of personal growth. Today, I would like to share with you my personal journey of adopting this yes mentality. It hasn't been easy, and it most certainly hasn't been comfortable, but it has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. And I hope that by sharing my story, it can inspire some of you to take the leap of faith and accept the challenges that life throws your way. So taking the first step towards something new can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be a dramatic leap like skydiving or bungee jumping. Sometimes the smaller steps can be more impactful. My first step of saying yes was joining the Kansas City Youth Orchestra as a flautist. It was nervous standing in front of people on a stage and performing, but playing flute made it to where I was able to forget my nervousness and focus on the music. By stretching the boundary of what I knew, I was able to prepare myself for what I was about to meet down the road. My second yes was actually talking on the phone, which may seem strange and different, but I tend to get nervous talking on the phone calls because they tend to be unknown to me, and my social anxiety doesn't help. But I knew I needed to get over this, so I decided to search around, and I found an organization, a volunteer organization, that allowed me to talk on the phone and make a distant friend with a senior citizen who didn't have a strong social structure in their life. And after that experience, I'm able to say I can talk on the phone without jitters of the unknown. But my biggest challenge came when Phi Theta Kappa came knocking on my door. Now, I knew about Phi Theta Kappa because my older brother was joined it, and I watched him go for president of his chapter. So I decided that it was completely and utterly out of my realm of comfort, so I said yes and joined. I immediately was thrown into the deep end. They started pushing me out of my shell and telling me to go beyond my limits and my expectations. I began to run for president. I said yes to becoming part of the library board, and I said yes to giving this speech today, despite the fact it is my first time. So I guess the main message here is that life is too short to stay in your comfort zone. I urge you all to try and put the yes mentality into your life. Say yes to new experiences and new opportunities, even if they make you feel uncomfortable or uncertain. You accept these challenges, you start to understand that you find personal growth and development far beyond what you've ever expected. Thank you.
I'm just so proud of our students. I can't hold it in. You know, just to tell you a little bit about our students, in order to join PTK, you have to have completed 12 credit hours at Barton. But beyond that, you have to have a 3.5 GPA at Barton. And, you know, that in and of itself is hard work, you know. But a lot of our students, when you think about it, they have so much else going on. They have jobs. They have 4 kids, right, Bethany? Some of them have 2 jobs, you know? So they have so much going on, and still they persevere, and they have great achievements. That says a lot about who they are. And then, like Helena was talking about, and very well, Helena, they have other issues that they say yes to, right? They're willing to say, no, I'm not going to let social anxiety determine what I am and what I'm not going to do. I'm going to persevere through this. And that's saying a lot. And I think you deserve to give yourself a lot of credit for that. So yes to you. Absolutely. So could I have the members of PTK who are here today, can I have them just kind of come over here and gather, just gather a little bit. I know, Leilani, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this, but you need to. You came down this far, right? And yes, absolutely. And if we can have VP Simmons, right here. Right here.
Yes.
Right here. Okay, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Saunter this way. Saunter, 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 saunter. Okay, first we're going to introduce just so you're aware of the sequence of events. We're going to give a round of applause and introduce the people on Zoom first. So don't think you're being left out. Okay, I'm going to circle back. We're going to circle back, okay? So I would like to give a big round of applause to Dean Alan Hanel. You did meet Dean a little bit ago, okay? He'll be taking his last class in October this year. He's getting his degree in OSHA, safety and environmental. It's called SHEP. SHEP? Okay, yes, okay, yes, excellent. Okay, yes, SHEP, okay. And he is in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and he is currently a quality inspector for 81st Road, correct, Dean? Oh, okay, I get the thumbs up, so yes. So please, okay, give a big round of applause to Dean. We also have Bethany Klein, who you heard talk to us before. She joined last year, but she is planning to transfer when she eventually graduates. She's coming. Okay, you're coming this way. Okay, well, No, okay. Be safe.
I'm going to get my son from school.
Okay. She is planning to transfer to Upper Iowa in psychology. She's originally from Saline, Michigan, but she currently lives in Junction City, Kansas. She is, talk about a busy lady. When I hear about her schedule, I get tired. She has 4 kids, like I've said before, and she is the owner of a small business. She does 3D printing. She's given me some of her 3D printing stuff. It's really fun. You know, I have Yorick, the skull, in my office, and I have One-Eyed Willie, the bearded dragon, on my filing cabinet. And she also is a Cub Scout leader. So please, yes, I know, she's so busy, it's crazy. Please give a big round of applause to Bethany. Okay, and now we have Helena. Please come across. She's not graduating yet. She's graduating probably in December. Miss Helena joined in October, and let me tell you, since she joined, she has just completely thrown herself into everything, and has she said yes to everything. We said, hey, would you like to, we were asking for volunteers to lead a meeting. Helena said, I'll do that. We were asking for, hey, would anybody be willing to join the library advisor team? Helena said, okay, I'll do that. We were asking for, people to be willing to be officers. Helena said, okay, I'll do that too. And she's been at like every meeting, every time we've needed somebody to help out, Helena has been the first person to help out. She's just been absolutely a total treasure. So just an amazing young lady. So please she wants to be an orthopedic surgeon so she can take care of me when I'm older than I am now and more crippled than I am now. So get ready to take care of me and my broken knees and hip. And she's planning on transferring to Thomas Edison State University in New Jersey, where she will first get her bachelor's degree in history, just like me, and then she'll take care of my broken body when she gets her medical degree. So be prepared. So please give a huge round of applause to the wonderful, delightful Helena Likens. All right, and now we have also not graduating yet, is, yes, Maria Ray Payne Malave. Maria she's a relatively new member. She loves to do art. She's very talented in her artwork, and she wants to be an archivist and study library science. And I think I told you I was a librarian in another life, which I know doesn't seem to go with my personality at all. I usually am the one who's being told shh, not the one who's doing the shushing. But, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But please give a huge round of applause to Ray Payne Malave. And admire her cool kicks that she's gone on, because they are pretty amazing. Now, these are the graduates. But the first one we're going to talk to is on Zoom. Sorry. The first one is going to be on the Zoomy Zoom. Okay, Shayna Pickens. This is the wonderful and talented Shayna Pickens, who joined in January of 2023. I was so excited when I first got in contact with Shayna Pickens, because I saw she was in Arkansas. And my mother is originally from Arkansas and can call the hogs with the best of them. My mother is a University of Arkansas graduate. So that is how I first had to talk to Shayna. And then I found out you're going to Texas A&M, and my mother was heartbroken. Totally heartbroken. But it's okay. It's okay. She'll forgive you, because it's in Texarkana, so you get a pass, Shayna. You get a full pass. She's going to major in psychology, and she wants to become, Megan, are you listening? She wants to become an academic counselor. So we're very excited for that. When she's not studying, which obviously is all the time given her grades, because she's a smarty, She's a smarty. She likes to travel. She likes to journal. She likes to, and this is what I like to do the most, go out to eat. I like to eat. Yeah. And she likes to binge watch Grey's Anatomy, spend time with her family and her boyfriend. Right? Yeah. And go out to eat. That would be my thing, right? Yeah. So please give a huge round of applause to the lovely, talented, smart Sheena Pickens, who finally got her regalia that was sent in the mail, which I was sweating bullets over. Okay. Next we have the lovely, talented, very smart mother of two, Karen. Can you wave at everybody, Karen? Kevin is not here today. He's at school, okay, which I guess is important and is probably a good example to set, right? But we have Karen, which we're very excited about. We have Jessica Haygood. Jessica is definitely graduating, so it is time. It's time. It's time. Okay. Jessica joined in 2022, and Jessica is here today also with her brother. He said he was here as a replacement for Kevin, but I said Kevin can't be replaced, so we're happy to have you here in addition to. Yes, we're happy to have you here as an addition to. And we're hopeful that Cody is also watching. So let's say hi to Cody. Hi, Cody. Cody is very, very cute and very nice as well, so we have to say hi to him. Jessica is originally from North Carolina, but obviously she's not commuting here from North Carolina. That would even win over from the Likens family. That would be the farthest commute. So she is currently residing in Fort Riley, Kansas. She likes to spend time with her children and with Kevin's pug, who is the most adorable dog ever. And she is hoping on continuing to her bachelor's degree where she wants to major in pre-law, because, you know, we got the smarties. So we got pre-med, we got pre-law, we got the psychology people, we got all these people, right? But you haven't decided where you're going to go to school just yet.
Debating between two universities.
Okay, so you're debating between two. Which ones are you debating?
Appalachian State.
Appalachian State. And
UNC Chapel Hill.
UNC Chapel, okay. Alrighty there, okay. All right, not Harvard College of the Bahamas?
No.
Okay, okay. Or, you know, Quick Mart of the Bahamas? No, nothing like that? Okay, okay, probably a good choice.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I'm gonna have you hang around here, because we gotta talk about one more thing.
Okay.
But hang out for just a second, okay? Hang out for just a but go ahead. But hang out. Don't go back to your seat just yet, okay? And last but certainly not least, see, aren't you glad you stuck around, Leilani? Leilani Sumile. Leilani joined, she's a fairly new member. I mean, 6 months-ish, right? She joined in November. You even have the exact date you joined. I love it. She knows the exact date and everything. Actually, my parents' anniversary, November 8th, 2022. They'll be expecting cards, now that you know. She is planning on graduating and going eventually to, hopefully, K-State. Good choice, good choice. She would like to get a degree in criminal justice. She wants to be a criminologist. You're gonna help me catch all the serial killers. I love it, okay? And she's here today with Mom. Hi, Mom. We're happy to have you. And she's just, you're the quiet type, but I can always tell that there's wheels turning. So I think you're going to be one of those really good criminologists that then like jumps out at the serial killers. So you gotta be careful. Watch your step with her, guys. Watch your step. So please give a big round of applause for Leilani Sumile. Yes, she does. Oh, you got a little piece of paper too extra. Isn't that fun? You did so well, see? No pressure. Oh, we'll get him. Okay, now Jessica, we're gonna have you come back now. because, and we, you know, poor Miss Bethany, I said we were going to say what this, you know, ribbon was around her neck. Well, on April 14th, we were in Junction City for an awards ceremony. We had some students that, you know, applied for scholarships and awards, and 4 students from our 2 chapters were selected, okay? And poor Miss Jessica was unable to go to the award ceremony because she found out she had COVID literally the day before. You called me up in tears. You were very unhappy. I was very unhappy. And I said, don't worry, because on May 2nd, we will make a complete fuss. I'm good at making fusses. I'm excellent at it. I'm pretty much known for it, right? And I said, I'll make sure to embarrass you. Yes. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, right? So without further ado, and then I'll come back to you, Ms. Jenkins-Moss, and we'll embarrass you too, Bethany. So be ready for the embarrassment. But without further ado, I want to make sure that we suitably embarrass you. Hi, Cody. Okay. Are we adequately embarrassing you?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Because you deserve some embarrassment. Okay? You worked so hard. Okay? And by the way, here's your, this is one of the important parts. Here's your stipend. Here's your check. Get that money, girl. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay? And also, here's your cool certificate. Look at this, Karen. What do you think about that? See? I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're trying to make me cry.
You're darn right. You deserve it, okay?
Thank you.
Okay? So, are you adequately embarrassed now? Do I need to go further?
No.
Okay, okay. All right, are you adequately embarrassed? Yeah. Okay, you can go sit down now, okay? You can go, now that I've adequately embarrassed her. Okay, my work here is done. All right, Ms. Jenkins-Moss, if you would like to somewhat embarrass your people.
Well, I can't embarrass mine too bad because neither one of mine is here, but, and that's because they are what we described before. They're both, one has already transferred to the University of St. Louis, and so today she was in classes, so she's not able to attend, and that's fine, Pettis. She also works a full-time job, and she is one that I know Director Bulk will probably remember the first time we met her, it wasn't under the best circumstances, but she was just a diamond in the rough, and we were able to help her realize her potential and the courage that she needed, and the support kind of helped her kick onto that. The other person that we had that was nominated and that got the same award was Ariana Heller. She actually is working full-time as well, and so she couldn't get off work. But both of them displayed what the, I'm going to show a picture. I'll show a picture of them. This is the picture that we took at the All Kansas State. And then go down and hit share. Here. Okay, well, as she gets the picture up, you'll see Fine Pettit. She's in the pink with a very wonderful pink top. And then Ariana is to my, I guess it would be right directly. Oh, she's in front of me. Oh, yeah, so I'm in the middle between Fine and Ariana Heller. So this is our picture from that ceremony that day. But they both strive, they're dedicated, they have grit. They make sure that they understand where they want to go educationally for their journey, and they're doing that while they're also working without let up. So I was just very proud of them, and sorry they couldn't be here today, but they're doing what they do best. They're working hard, taking care of things. So I'll pass it back to you, Gina. Thank you.
And I'd also like to reintroduce you to Bethany Klein. You get to know, you get to see our students over and over again because they are such overachievers. Bethany Klein was our other Beta Neuro chapter scholar. Oh, and see, hello there. See, all of her kids are gonna go to Barton and they're all gonna be scholars themselves. We're all so excited to get to see members of the members of the families. We just get to know them and their whole families, and we're all just so excited about that. So Bethany is wearing her medal today. I always call it the clink and clank because they are pretty heavy, aren't they, Jessica? It's kind of heavy, isn't it? Yeah, but kind of fun, right? So Bethany, we're just so excited, and it was so great having you there on the 14th. And it was really exciting. I'm sorry that Jessica couldn't be there, but I think the little bit of embarrassment kind of made up for it a little bit, right? A little bit? Okay, right. So I just am so excited to get to share these times with you. And just as VP Simmons said, soak it up, because sometimes these moments are kind of few and far between. And so sometimes you do need to hearken back to these moments when you're having a rough day. I know I've kept every letter that and every email that I've gotten from students. And when I'm having a bad day, I do go back and read those letters. And so when I have those moments of what am I doing moments, what am I doing? What is my purpose here? I go back and I read those cards. I read those emails. And I go, this is what I'm doing here. This is my purpose. You know, when you get into education, you don't make buckets of money. Sorry. What's my joke, Helena, about, oh, you want to get your degree in history? Find a box, find a bridge to live under, and you'll be set for life, right? So that's always my joke, okay? But when you go into education, you do hope to make a difference. And that's why you save those cards, you save these moments in your memory bank, and then you can draw upon them. And you can go, this was my moment. This was my, what am I doing here? So save those moments, soak them up, because you deserve them. And this is your day. Save them up, okay? So, and also, don't forget to thank those who helped you to get here. Like what Helena said with her parents, yeah, they're pretty important, right? So thank them. Thank your kids. Thank Karen, right? Because she's pretty precious. So thank them too. So thank you guys so much for being here today to support your students. They really appreciate all your support. Thank you for the whole Likens clan for coming out today. My goodness. Did you charter a bus? Yes? You have your own. Yeah, okay, I love it. We're so grateful for you guys surprising us. This was a absolutely wonderful, joyous surprise. Thank you so much for coming. Make sure that, I forgot to put it on the back table, but I will make sure that I get it to you. If you are a PTK member that is in the room, I do have a sign-in sheet that I will ask you to sign. Don't worry, if you're not in the room, like Dean or Bethany or Shayna, I'll sign it for you. Okay? No, I won't forge your signature, I'll just sign it for you. Okay? I won't be opening any credit cards in your name or get a home loan in your name or anything like that, I promise. Okay? But I'll make sure to say that you were here. Your attendance will not go unrecognized. So thank you all for showing up, and thank you for participating in this, our very first fusion ceremony. And thank you so much for the various members of Barton, like Rebecca, John, Christina, the wonderful PR staff. Absolutely, we'll make sure that people get pictures. They're not going to forget. And thank you so much to everybody at Fort Leavenworth who made all of this possible. Thank you, Maggie, for making this possible. Also, we have this wonderful backdrop here, and the PR staff would love to get some pictures of you and your families here with this. So please come up here and take some pictures. That's what it's here for. Karen, that's what this is here for. Make sure you come down here with your mother and get this picture taken, okay? Okay, that's what it's here for. Take your moment, all right? So without further ado, Thank you guys so much for coming and participating in this, our very first fusion ceremony. So thank you very much, guys, for coming. That's how you get ants.